I'm going to make a 2-point perspective view of the bathroom from this floor plan here. I've already made a 1-point view, so I understand pretty much what that bathroom looks like. I'm going to use this as a guide, but mainly I'm going to look at my floor plan so that I get practice on how to draw from a floor plan. For a 1-point view, we were standing here and looking towards this sink right here. For a 2-point view, I'm going to turn my floor plan at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to look into this corner, which puts my station point out here at the other corner of the room. So as always, in a 2-point perspective, I start with a single line about in the middle of my page, the top third, that's going to be 8 feet high. So I know that this is 8 and this is 0. In the middle of that, I put a 4 feet, divide that for a 6 and a 2, divide those for a 1, 3, 5, 7. I take my 5 foot all the way to the right of the page and all the way to the left of the page. So that I have a horizon line. I then make on the edge of the paper a right vanishing point and a left vanishing point. Draw from the 0 to the right, from the 8 to the right. Turn my paper so I get it more accurate. Draw from the 0 to the left and from the 8 to the left. Today I'm drawing in pencil on marker paper. Just to set it up, as soon as possible I want to go to pen so that I don't have to do it and redo it and erase too much. Alright, once I have those lines set up, I want to continue them out to the edges of the page. Perhaps I want to lay my pencil along this way and give myself a point at the edge of the page to shoot for so that I can put my pencil at the 0 and my eye at that point. I'll get a much straighter and better line if I do that. Take my pencil and figure out where I'm going. That same direction. Give myself a point, put my pencil down, put my eye in the end, and draw towards that. Alright, so this is the back corner of my room. I've got a tub here. The tub height is 18 inches, and it comes out 5 feet in this direction and 5 feet in this direction. How do I know where 5 feet is out here? Well, I'm going to take this 8. I'm going to pinch my pencil at the bottom. I'm going to actually double it because I need 16, don't I? I need 16 going along here. I could do 8 and 8, but then I'm going to get really big, and I think that that's not going to be great. So I'm going to take that 8 and I'm going to go out here. And back this way, just like I did in my 1-point just so I can get a sense of what 16 would be. Now this is much longer than my pencil, so I'm going to take another sheet of paper and I'm just going to mark it here. Then I'm going to take that out along this edge here. And that's actually going off my page. So here on my desk, I could make a 16 point, or I can come back to my paper, which you probably can't see very well in the video, but it's right here. So I'm going to cheat in just a little bit, and I'm actually going to make that 16 right at the edge. The reason being that I'm in perspective, and I want things to shorten up as they come in. I'm going to take this 16, and that's actually going to go off the edge of my paper just a little bit, so I'll make that on my desk. I'll draw from my vanishing point to that edge, and then I want to X from this point to this point, and from this point where I imagine that those might meet out here. So I'm just going to come pretty much straightforward on my drawing. But then I've got the center of the room, so I can draw from this point off to that vanishing point, and up to this vanishing point. That gives me 8 feet here and here. I've got 16 out on the right side. Here I can X across there, and where I see that X is going to be 4. This goes towards vanishing point left and gives me a 4 right here. I'm headed from here towards where I think these two are going to meet out here. So if I imagine those two coming this way, I'm going to be out here. I'm going to swing this towards that 8 point here. I'm going to mark where it comes into the paper. That gives me a place to draw across there. Then I'm going to take this X here and draw towards vanishing point, and I get 12. So I've got 4, 8, 12, and 16. I'm going to check to make sure that this is bigger than that. Yes, it's much bigger. Check that this is bigger than that. Yes, I'm getting smaller as I go back. So I've set up a pretty good grid there. I'd like to get a 12 over here. So I'm imagining this going off this way, and this actually coming in about here to this point. Then I'm going to head up to that 8. So it's going to come into the paper about right there. Draw from here towards that point. And I'm going to draw from this point towards vanishing point. That's going to give me 12 on this side. So I'm not going to go beyond that, because this we decided was actually 12 from here to here. We know this is 5. We know the shower is 3, so there's 8. This isn't 4. This must be another couple feet right up here. So let's put 2 feet up there, let's say. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's put 2 feet here to get 12. Okay. So my tub's coming out 5, and it's coming up 1.5 feet. So here's 1.5 feet. Coming away from the right vanishing point on this wall, because the floor comes away from the right vanishing point on this wall. So everything on this wall relates to vanishing point right or to vertical. This is 4 feet here, so I know 5 is going to be just a little bit past it. I bring this 4 on out, I bring this 4 across into that X right there, it's going to help me. Because I can X across here to find a 6. So halfway between 4 and 8 is 5. If I wanted to X this again, I could X in here, and then go off to vanishing point, and my 5 right there. So my tub lays here and here. I gotta come up to 1.5 feet this way. So this is the box that's going to contain my tub. This is the bounding box. I'm ready to switch to pen now. I don't think that I'm going to go on with that, except that I need to find this cabinet here. Says it's 24 inches deep. So 24 is this line here. The box that I've drawn comes out here actually, right? This is a 5-foot box, so I got to cut off that corner again. So I'm going to come out 24 inches into the room. I know that this is 4. So if I do this to get half of that, I will have 2. This goes to vanishing point left, and it lines me up right there. So this is where the front of my cabinets are going to go. We know that this cabinet lies at 8 from the back wall. So I can come here out to the front and say that's the end of a 3-foot cabinet. Then I want to come between 8 and 12. This is 10. So 8, 9, 10, 11. I got to be here. That's the back of the cabinet, and this is the front of the cabinet. I got to go 3 feet on this, so I'm coming up here to my 3, away from vanishing point left, because the floor comes away from vanishing point left. So everything on the right wall relates to left vanishing point and vertical. So that cabinet's actually going to come up this high. Each time I turn a corner, I switch my vanishing point. So I'm going to jump to pen now, since I know this is where I'm going to have that vanity set. This tub, I need to come 3 feet out in this direction. So if this is 4 right here, this is 5, 6, 7, 8. So the shower, it looks like, is going to come. I don't want to go 3 foot out. I want to go, if this is 2, and 3 is going to be between those. So I'm going to bring the shower in just a touch there. So this is going to be the floor of my shower here. Notice that I've jumped to pen already. I want to have as little erasing as possible to do in this drawing. So once I get my floor and my walls set up, once I know where things are going to go, I think it's good to shift into pen as soon as possible on these drawings. Now I've got this point here and this point here, which cuts the corner off. Instead of coming out to this point here, I'm going to go from there to there, basically just dot to dot it across the floor. This is almost flat to my eye as I look across the thing. It's not quite because I came 2 feet here and 3 feet here. If it was 2 feet here, then this would be perfectly horizontal. It would be drawn as it were at one point. So there's a corner of my tubs. I'm going to jump back to pencil for just a minute because I want to, while I'm here, do the ellipse for the top of it. Remember that the ellipse of the tub is a function of this sort of yin-yang thing where we have an oval made of 2 circles and then coming tangent this way and this way. That's lined up across the 2 corners of the tub. This is the front of it cut off here. So I want to come in here and I want to set up from this corner to that corner a line, understanding that there's an ellipse here because every time I have a circle, when I'm looking down on it, it goes into an horizontal ellipse in the perspective view. I'm going to make an ellipse over here, and I'm going to connect tangents top and bottom to help me to see how that tub could sit in there. Then I can take my pen and set that ellipse in like that. The shower I know needs to come up to 7 feet. So I'm going to come all the way up here till this line. Now the measuring lines, because the ceiling and the floor relate to vanishing point right, I come away from vanishing point right through that 7. That's where my shower is going to end. This line's going to come up to that line too, and that's going to create the shadow on the wall of my shower box. Gotta go up to that line. It's going to drop towards vanishing point right. Now, in the 1 point, this came straight out horizontally, but in the 2 point, it's got to come away from vanishing point left. The other way to answer the question, which way is the line supposed to go, is to come to a corner and ask yourself if you have 3 dimensions. So in this corner right here, I have height, I have vanishing point right, but I don't have anything relating to vanishing point left. So to complete a box here, I need to come away from vanishing point left. This box as well, I've got vertical, vanishing point right, so I need to come away from vanishing point left there to create the end of the box. That's going to go until I hit this. The second way to decide which way a line is supposed to go is go down to the floor and say if one end of the box comes away from vanishing point left, the other end of the box, because it's parallel, goes to the same vanishing point. So this must then drop towards vanishing point left to create the end of this plane right there. Looks like I'm getting a little wobbly. I'm going to turn my page to the left and I'm going to look at the edge of my paper to see if my verticals are true. Draw a little bit of that with my pencils quite sketchily, and then come in with my pen when I know where I'm going. I've got my dot right there. And this one's going to go, should come up to this dot right there. And then this is a way to double check myself. This dot and this point here should be meeting on their way to vanishing point right. Looks like they're cheating just a little. So I'm going to bring this up just a little bit so that this one can feel more like it's headed towards vanishing point left. I'm just going to erase some of those demonstration lines that I made. This is all going to be as clean as you want it to be. This I'm not going to fully draw in the end of this cabinet yet because I know I have a wall coming over top of it. This wall comes out next to that sink right here at the 11, doesn't it? And it comes out about where the end of that shower is, just a little short of that. So I can bring it out to here, or I can make it just a little short and say that wall is going to come in here and actually go up here. This bottom of the wall is going to vanishing point right, so the top of the wall would have to go to vanishing point right. So if I come back to here and I came up here to the top of this wall, go up this way, that wall is going to be so big coming off my page, it's going to cover most of my sink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice invisibility here, and I'm going to draw through that wall. So I'm going to draw that wall, but I'm also going to draw as if the wall didn't exist. Because my client wants to get a sense of what's going on in this room, but they also want to see the nice detail of the mirrors and that kind of thing up there. So this is the end of my wall. This is where the wall hits the other wall. Come away from the vanishing point right there. So now, any detail that I do in here, I'm probably going to do with a 1 or 2 point instead of a 0.05. So I'm going to do a 0.01 or a 0.02 to draw details behind that wall, so it's a little bit lighter. I'll look at that as I get towards the end of the drawing and decide on whether or not I want that to be really emphasized or not. Come in with my pencil and draw these cabinets in here just so I can imagine where the center point is. So it looks like it's a little off. So I'm going to adjust for that. Have the handle come out. Probably like so. I can X across here to find the center and line my handles up on that. Oh, see, I was quite a bit to the right of where I should be. So I'll line the end of my handles up here and let them go kind of off the page. Again, making sure I'm using vanishing point left and vertical just like I would for the wall. And my sinks in this vanity still, even though I'm in 2 point, need to be set up on a horizontal ellipse if they're round. If they're oval, then I'm going to set them up the same way I set up the bathtub. I think I'm just going to do a horizontal ellipse right here, and a horizontal ellipse right here. That's my 5. I want to use my 1 behind the wall, I said. So I'm going to do a very light line around that. These ellipses I'm going to set up so the width is horizontal this way, but I need to set up the tops and bottoms of those mirrors with left vanishing point the same way I did the ceiling and the floor and the counters. So when I did this, I drew this one up above the other because I was looking at this vanishing point going to vanishing point right. I need to correct for that because everything on this wall goes to vanishing point left, like the ceiling and the floor. So if I'm going to draw this mirror, this height in here. Then I want to set up away from vanishing point left and away from vanishing point left, the top and bottom of the next mirror. So that this mirror is bigger because it's closer to me. When I go over it in pen, I'm not just tracing it, I'm getting my second chance to make a little bit better oval there. Alright, you guys can go on from there and finish this up. There is the question of the toilet out here, so I'll address that in the next video.